8 3-minute rounds. The gloves are 10 ounces. And Anthony Joshua weighs like 250 pounds. So I'm not really sure how this is going to end up happening. But this is one of those. Normally, I don't give credit to the Paul brothers. And, I give them credit for being great on social media and creating a lot of buzz for the sport. I give him credit for getting in the round with Anthony Joshua. This is not like a Mike Tyson fight where Tyson's 60 years old.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Let's take a look at a couple of narratives here and play a good game of fade or not fade. And first up, well, the idea that the Chiefs are going to put it all together and win the AFC West, well, that's absolutely gone. Absolute fade from this point on, Donnie, with the Chiefs. Their 10-year reign is over. It's done with.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circa Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
Thanksgiving Day is just on the horizon here, Joe. It's a Wednesday. You got a pretty good sporting night tonight, which we're going to continue in hour number 2 to take a look at. Then you get Turkey Day and Black Friday, which I love. I love both of these days. And growing up, like playing football, especially at high school, the Thanksgiving Day game. I got a PSA here in the state of New Jersey. Very rarely now do we have any Thanksgiving football games. Most of these football seasons are done, except for the state champions, where you've been already done that season for 3 weeks. It used to be the biggest game of the year played on Turkey Day, and that was a tradition here. But so many things have changed over the years, and I understand that. But the one thing that I do love is football on Thanksgiving, and I can't get enough of that, Joe.
Me neither, Donnie. It's one of the best times of year. And meaningful games, too. I mean, games that, just when we thought we had an idea of maybe what the identity of some of these teams are, yeah, anything is possible that happens this week, which is what makes it so much fun, because December, Donnie, like it or not, is right around the corner.
Yeah, college football for me, we didn't play on Thanksgiving Day. We never made the playoffs anyway. But in high school, I lost my last game on Thanksgiving Day, Joe. I had a 47-yard catch. Called back on an illegal motion. I had a 33-yard touchdown catch. Called back on an illegal motion. I mean, my goodness at this point right now. So that still sticks in my craw to this day. But it is Turkey Day. And by the way, Joe, if we're talking about food, like friends, family, and stuff, when do you eat? Because I come from an Italian background. The wife's Italian. We tend to eat early. But I got to tell you this. You know me. I'm a fasting guy. I eat my only meal of the day now the minute we get off the air around 9:15 a.m. and we're done. It's hard to convince the wife that we should be ready to eat at 9:15 a.m. on Thanksgiving, man. When do you eat?
Yeah. Well, if you can, Donnie, let me know how you pulled that off, because my goodness, that's got to be some mesmerizing stuff right there. But no, to me, it's an all-day affair. It starts in the morning and it goes right through with the sit-down. Try to get it right around that 5 o'clock time frame, 4 or 5 o'clock time frame. So yeah, we can be good right around there. But the feasting begins at about 9 a.m.
Now, here's the upsetting part about me, too, is like fasting, because I eat a big meal, and I like that. But Thanksgiving is always supposed to be, Joe, right? Like, let's just say the food gets out on the table for a standard family 3 p.m. on Thanksgiving, give or take an hour, 4 p.m., sometimes early that people eat.
Right.
It was, eating before the Thanksgiving meal, like picking stuff out, like, oh, the turkey's done, let me grab a little bit of this, stuffing's done, let me grab a roll, and you start eating. Then you have your meal, which you're putting down plates. Not a plate, you're putting down plates. Then you give it a little bit of time, you go back for the dessert. But then, Joe, something usually happens during that Cowboys game. Maybe you catch a little bit of a nap in like 7:30, like, you know what? I want another full dinner and another meal at that point. Like, that is the best part about Thanksgiving that I miss out on now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's, in the Italian household, Donnie, it's the antipasta begins at 9 a.m. sharp. And by the time we get to 12 o'clock, we need a nap to begin the next round.
Yeah.
Yes, it's just a vicious cycle, Donnie, one in which, thank goodness, there's only one day a year like that. Otherwise, we might all weigh 900 pounds.
You're right. Like, and again, like the cheese and cracker platter comes out, you plow through that like it's the last meal. I mean, it is a fantastic day overall at this point. And it always ends with a little eggnog and rum, or just having some rum, or boy, you ate way too much. And everybody has their, like, pants unbuckled at that point, just trying to squeeze in an extra piece of pumpkin pie. But that's Thanksgiving. Let's get to the early lineup and the hottest topics, where I don't know who's enjoying their Thanksgiving. Why not be Trayvon Mulring out here? He's going to be suspended this weekend as they take on the Rams. Why? Punch to the lower extremities. That'll get you every time in 4K, Joe.
Absolutely. But it's not like he didn't know this was coming, because he did admit after the game that, I expect to be fined. Let him say, well, you got fined. You lost a game check. Now you're suspended. But he seems to be okay with that, which I think is a big reason why Carolina is Carolina right now. But you're playing the Rams. It wouldn't make a difference if he was out on the field or not, Donnie.
Yeah, watch out, Puka and Devontae out there running wild. And by the way, make me commissioner of the NFL, or at least that guy that's like the executioner that you have to go before me if you want to actually rescind your, penalty that you have. I want to play a little Russian roulette at that point. Like, everybody, I'm going to appeal this. Okay, well, if you appeal, we have a chance to double your suspension. Do you think people would not appeal? Like, Jamar Chase spit on a guy. I'm going to appeal that. Okay, I might give you 2 games instead of 1 now. People wouldn't be appealing this nonsense. Like, what are you appealing? What's the appeal?
Yeah. Well, I think that's just a way for the Players Association to justify the amount of money they're charging the players here. So don't you worry about it. We'll get the appeal for you. Just make sure your dues are paid up and we're ready to roll.
By the way, you're right. Like, they get that FedEx envelope for like making a tackle, a hard tackle for like $15K. Can you imagine, Joe, if we're on the air when like SportsGrid sends us like, you just been docked $222 for a bad segment? Like, that would be tremendous stuff here. Hey, don't get any ideas back there either. Brandon Cooks, how about this one? Finds a home in Buffalo. They need wideouts. He's a wideout, and he's home in Buffalo now.
Yeah, listen, I'm not going to lie. I had no idea he was even still in the NFL here. It feels like he's been around for a million years. I think he's only 32, Donnie. But listen, Buffalo needs all the Buffalo needs all the help they can get, because they couldn't do anything at the trade deadline. They did try, I believe, to get Waddle from Miami, and that didn't work out. I don't know what's going on with Coleman. Obviously, there's been a big falling out there. So, what's left? I had no idea he was even on the Saints anymore. I mean, crazy to me. But again, quarterbacks make receivers. Josh Allen's a pretty good one.
Yeah, by the way, on that too, like, if you give a first for Waddle, like, why would you not do that if you're Buffalo? Like, I don't like, we don't want our future. So what, next year when you're drafting 27th, you're going to look for a wide receiver and he's going to be as good as Jalen Waddle? Nonsense stuff at that point. Amari Hampton, he's going to be back with the Chargers sooner than later, coming back to practice. That's an extra gun in that backfield here. Kamani Vidal did a pretty good job here, but looks like we're getting some help.
Boy, he did, didn't he, though? I mean, he stepped in. Everyone stuck a fork in him, but they did a good job. They still have issues on the offensive line, but having Hampton there and not having to drop back, Justin Herbert 40 times a game, that's good news for Harbaugh and the Chargers, that's for sure.
Yeah, LeBron James in the news. I don't know if this is going to be my last year. Hint, it's not. You would have already said it before the season. How about that answer, Joe?
Listen, this will all depend on how bad the Lakers flame out or not flame out here this season. Because what would you be coming back to if they make a run at it all? And how healthy is that sciatica? It's killing him, Donnie. It's killing him, the sciatica. Of course he's retiring this year.
He is not. Telling you that, Joe. We're going to go on couch and go head-to-head. There's no way he's retiring at the end of this year. My man's going to want his rocking chair appearances for the next season here. Jalen Suggs, he got tossed out of a game here. And by the way, Ever have a big family fight also? But back in the day, 80s and early 90s, politics wasn't that big at the dinner table. Politics probably getting in a lot of fights this year, Joe, at Thanksgiving as well. Jalen Suggs, he's out.
Yeah, I don't understand what happened. I mean, you win a game 144 to 103. Why are you fighting anybody? I do not understand that spot. But again, if Tyrese Maxey only has 20 points, you're not going to win many games, I guess, Philadelphia, at that point, are you?
Ronaldo, red card. Oh, no, you're going to be out of the World Cup. And the FIFA steps in and is like, what? Rescind that red card. Suspend that red card. When he goes back and plays for whoever he plays for at this point, Liverpool, give him a suspension then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. They, like we mentioned earlier, Donnie, they should just dock wins. Like, those last 3 games you won, we're going to take away those wins. But you'll be good to go for the World Cup. Don't you worry about it. We've got you covered here.
How about Sonny Gray on the move here to the Red Sox? The hot stove, Joe, heating up just before Thanksgiving now. It's always sunny in Boston.
Oh, listen, Boston apparently all in on trying to win a world. I can't even say it with a straight
Sounds
face.
good.
They're all in, man, pushing them chips in. Let's go, Sonny Gray. Yikes. My goodness.
Yeah, Sonny Gray to Boston over here. The Yankees telling you they're going to cut payroll. What world are we living in where the Dodgers are like, how many more of these Japanese guys can we actually pile in here as free agents and load this team up even more? The paradox of Major League Baseball. Starts with the Dodgers, ends with the Dodgers here. More football coming up next. There's a lot of good college football this weekend. Oh, no, it's only Wednesday. We're not going to be here Thursday, Friday. We got to get the news to the people out there. Close to $1 million in volume being traded right now in the Offensive Player of the Year. If you did put $100 down on Jonathan Taylor, that would pay back $143, so a 43% increase on your money that you had. There are a lot of long shots in here, but it doesn't feel like those would be good bets. Like, hey, I'm going to put it on Justin Herbert. Well, yeah, if Justin Herbert wins it, Joe, a $100 wager would pay back $10,000. They even have a market for if you want to bet Malik Neighbors.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
What are those things called?
A shooting star.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that one. Like, it just burns up quick. Mm-hmm. And you love it while you can see it, and bing, it's gone in the blink of an eye.
Right.
That's my fear for Cam Scatterby.
Yeah, and that's not a big deal, but I will say it's weird, and it seems like he really enjoys that attention, which is all fine because he's a young guy.
Yeah.
But possibly dangerous in a city like New York.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The future of the prediction markets, I think, at least for now, may be in the hands of the federal courts. But the good news for those who support prediction markets is that these court battles may last for another 2 to 3 years before we get clarity around the law. And nominee Seelig was handpicked by Donald Trump, not because he was neutral on prediction markets, but because he would do nothing to slow it down.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Mayhem is what we want in college football. Mayhem is what we should get in college football. Donnie right side, Joe Ranieri on a Wednesday before Turkey Day and a big weekend of college football and a lot to deal in the final week of the regular season in college football, which starts at Darrell K. Royal Field. That's down in Austin, Texas. That's A&M is coming to town, unbeaten on the season and still a favorite over Texas at -2.5 and a total of 51.5. Can we see an upset, which would shake up the SEC here, Joe?
Yeah, listen, anything is possible, right? I mean, especially here in the SEC with these two teams, this game being at Texas, I think is going to be a lot of fun. I don't, we talked about it earlier, Donnie. I don't anticipate a 3 popping up at any time. I think 2.5. What you see is what you're going to get. I think it's just a matter of, do you believe that A&M is good enough to run the table in the SEC, go undefeated, play for an SEC championship, and get it going? I mean, Mike Elko's done an amazing job. And what happens to Sark if it doesn't work out in this game? This is a big game for a lot of different narratives here with Arch Manning. What's the future of Sark? Let's not forget, Lane Kiffin has got to make a decision on Friday. Great, that's all. But there's still he can only coach at one school. I mean, there's a ton of openings still available in the market. So I think this game, a lot of dominoes can fall in this game if Texas doesn't win it. Ultimately, I give them a puncher's chance. I think the home dog, and boy, you can rewrite the entire season if Arch shows up and shows out in this game for Texas.
Ohio State and Michigan. By the way, Michigan wins this football game, Michigan will be in the college football playoff. That's just the way it should go down. Ohio State is a double-digit favorite on the road. Cold temperatures expected here. If you're going to bet this game, you say, well, I think Ohio State, or this game goes over 44.5, just take the Ohio State team total because they're going to carry the weight here. But I look at that 44.5 and see two football teams that want to slug it out. And as you pointed out before, some banged-up wideouts here for Ohio State. I don't see Michigan scoring a ton because Ohio State's defense is really good. Ohio State is not looking to blow Michigan out. They just want to win after the past couple of years.
Yeah, and they do. But also, again, this game will go great for Michigan, right? If they win it again, which, I mean, what have they won? 5 straight in the series, which is kind of crazy here, or going for their 5th one in the series, which they haven't done since the 1920s. Yeah. But they lose this game, Donnie. They lost this game last year, won a national championship, Ohio State. They're already in the postseason. Doesn't make a difference what happens in this game, right? So it's very tough. The conditions, I think Ohio State is the class. I think they want to win this game and get this off their head. But ultimately, Ryan Day for a while has been playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. He set the schedule up perfectly for this season. He's been kind of slow playing a lot of these games with a lot of these teams. Maybe now is the time that Ohio State kicks it into another gear and absolutely blows the doors off of Michigan in this one.
Iron Bowl action down south, the battle of the state of Alabama. It's Alabama versus Auburn. Alabama's going to travel to Auburn on the plains. That line opened up as a look ahead, Joe, around 6.5. We're now seeing 5.5s and 6s in the marketplace. Lower total as well, 46.5, up from 43.5 is the look ahead. Who wins the Iron Bowl here, Joe?
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, Alabama should win this game, right? I'm kind of shocked they're not a bigger favorite, but I think that tells you that 5.5 line. I think that tells you, even the market's like, listen, it's the Iron Bowl, people. Anything can happen. It's the one rivalry series over the years, Donnie, that has absolutely killed me from a betting perspective here. I can never get this game right between these two teams because something always crazy happens. It is the national championship for Auburn. Make no mistake about it. Alabama, do we believe in Kalen Ball? Do we believe that he can get this done and then have a shot at going to play for an SEC championship, even though he's got 2 losses on the season? Anything is possible here.
Aye, Vanderbilt and Tennessee. The battle of Tennessee usually used to just be a blowout here. Tennessee rolling over Vandy. Tennessee a slight favorite on Rocky Top, -2.5. But we look at that total, 65.5. Does Pavia pull off one more upset here in his storied career as a 36-year-old quarterback?
Well, think about it here, right? If he pulls off this upset and has himself another monster game, listen, I doubt very much there's a scenario unless total chaos erupts in which Vandy gets into the postseason, but he might secure himself a Heisman Trophy with a big performance in this game against Tennessee on the road. If he does that, Donnie, then he very well could be your Heisman Trophy winner.
Georgia Tech. I'm saying, is this game played in Atlanta? Is it at Mercedes-Benz? Is that where this game is at?
I believe so. Yes.
Which
I believe that
crazy.
game is in Atlanta.
So So you would give up your home field advantage, at least playing in your home stadium, to play in the Georgia Dome, which is then going to be invaded by all Georgia fans at this point, not Georgia Tech. That's a 2-touchdown favorite for Georgia. I was hoping that we might get an interesting scenario here. Like Georgia Tech would have won last week against Pitt, making this game meaningless because they just want to get ready for the ACC championship game, win that, and get into the college football playoff, how that would play out. Now Georgia Tech's is like, well, we got to play hard, and Georgia's like, we got to win this game to get in the SEC championship game. I think Georgia might smoke Georgia Tech this weekend. Neutral site. Get out of here.
Well, yeah, you think maybe they were looking a little bit ahead last week, Georgia
True.
Tech, to this game. And I hope, you've blown it. So I'm hoping that it was worth it here, because the ACC seems to be out of reach now for you. And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, $10 million is what Georgia Tech is being paid to avoid that, to miss the home game aspect, to go to Atlanta to play this game. So, and I'm sure they'll cash that check, no problem here. But ultimately, can they be competitive? This is the final hurrah for Haynes King here. I think it's going to be a fun one to watch, but ultimately, Georgia pulls away in the second half.
Let's get to one more here. Oregon and Washington, which is an interesting one. Washington is at home getting about a touchdown from Oregon, a massive game for Oregon. They can't afford to slip up here, Joe.
No, they can't. They need to keep winning, and I believe they will in this spot here. Washington has been all over the place, but I think Oregon will be focused, ready to go, and possibly, depending on what happens at Ohio State, Michigan could be playing for a Big Ten championship.
Kalshi, let's play in some different marketplaces here. Get in a new sandbox, people. It's a lot of fun. Join the fun. Close to $1 million in volume being traded right now on the Offensive Player of the Year. If you did put $100 down on Jonathan Taylor, that would pay back $143, so a 43% increase on your money that you had. There are a lot of long shots in here, but it doesn't feel like those would be good bets. Like, hey, I'm going to put it on Justin Herbert. Well, yeah, if Justin Herbert wins it, Joe, a $100 wager would pay back $10,000. They even have a market for if you want to bet Malik Neighbors.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
What are those things called?
A shooting star.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that one. Like, it just burns up quick. And you love it while you can see it, and bing, it's gone in the blink of an eye.
Right.
That's my fear for Cam Scatterby.
Yeah, and that's not a big deal, but I will say it's weird, and it seems like he really enjoys that attention, which is all fine because he's a young guy.
Yeah.
But possibly dangerous in a city like New York.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The future of the prediction markets, I think, at least for now, may be in the hands of the federal courts. But the good news for those who support prediction markets is that these court battles may last for another 2 to 3 years before we get clarity around the law. And nominee Seelig was handpicked by Donald Trump, not because he was neutral on prediction markets, but because he would do nothing to slow it down.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
All those Kalshi markets before Thanksgiving. Maybe you can, I got to check the Kalshi markets here. Like, what gets consumed more? Beer, Jack Daniels? What gets consumed more? 500 million pounds of turkey or 500 million pounds of stuffing here? Those are some fun markets to take a look at here for Thanksgiving. But we're talking the Pro Football Championship game. Which teams do you think will be in it? I'm surprised by this, Joe. We go to Kalshi. Do you know the 7% chance leader in the clubhouse right now? are the Buffalo Bills, who might not even win the division, to take on the Philadelphia Eagles, followed by Kansas City and Los Angeles, followed by New England and Philadelphia. Man, Buffalo and Philly to get into a Super Bowl here. I don't know if I'll put my money down on that, Joe. I don't know.
It's still a little too early for my taste here. But I guess if you're looking at that, Donnie, right, if both continue to win games here down the stretch, you go from 7% to all of a sudden, 14, 15%? You might be able to double up here by the time we get to mid-December.
Let's go to more markets here. Buffalo, there we go. Oh, you know what? At the top of it, I should have hit down. I don't know why I had that. It's Kansas City and Detroit, which is showing 9% now. Denver and Los Angeles. These markets are crazy. Like, if you had to pick right now, like, who's going to get there, I probably would have the Rams included. And then who would it be out of the AFC, though? That's a tough one. Like, I think the Rams, if they hold home field advantage, will get there. I don't know about the AFC.
It's tough. I mean, but it wouldn't shock me. I think the market would probably lean Denver. I think they would be in for the conversation there, but ultimately experience matters this time of year, and who's got more of it than Buffalo and Kansas City?
Yeah, let's get to the pro football passing touchdown leaders. Similar to like the Heisman Trophy, who's going to get all the shine there? Matthew Stafford, an 88% chance to lead as the touchdowns leader. Now, granted, it says pro football passing touchdowns, not just touchdowns itself. Dak Prescott followed by Justin Herbert. I think Stafford's on that path, and I always like, and we're going to get into this conversation next with the Heisman. Sometimes look at Sean McVay and say, you know what, man, I'm going to get you there in style. We got the football on the 2-yard line. Am I giving this to Kyron? Am I just going to throw that quick out to Devontae Adams, which works every single time? Like, there is the truth to that. Hey, Coach, we all know I'm leading in touchdown passes. That would be cool if I did it here. Coach going to help him. I think it is Matthew Stafford at that heavy price.
Oh, absolutely. I think it is. And he'll make sure that Stafford gets his opportunities and his chances. And he's got the best weapons, right? He's got the best opportunity to do it, Donnie. And I don't think they slow that down anytime soon heading into this one. Again, they're only a few years removed, right, from holding up the trophy. It's not like they haven't been here and done this before.
Yeah, taking a look here, and also at the Heisman Trophy finalists here. I'm just trying to bring up here. I'm looking through the Notre Dame schedule here, Joe. So let me just go through. We're going to go to the games that they played here. All right, so you got Miami, A&M, Purdue, Arkansas, Boise State, NC State. So, Donnie, why are you doing this here? Let's see if he can have a big game this weekend against the Stanford Cardinal. Why? He's actually listed second here in the Kalshi Marketplace to win the Heisman Trophy. Understand this. They're going to beat up on Stanford. Maybe it's your goal again for Marcus Freeman to say, you know what, kid? You're going to have some time off between the playoff here if we get in. Let's go out there and get you 4 touchdowns here to see if we can get that Heisman Trophy. But on the flip side, Fernando Mendoza, he's playing in freezing cold temperatures as a 4-touchdown favorite against Purdue. You know Cignetti. He understands the stakes. He'd love nothing more than get a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, Joe. I think if you're betting, again, we talk about the extracurriculars and what we think is going to happen. Both of these guys are going to be pressing it down, and those coaches are going to be helping them. Multi-touchdown game for Love, and Fernando Mendoza, he might not even hand the football off in this game, Joe.
This is, yes, exactly it. Again, the coach-quarterback combination, knowing full well what's going on here. Yes, I could see that. Purdue's been a little feisty at home and defensively, so if this game was, I believe, is this game in Indiana or is this game at Purdue? It's at Purdue.
I believe it's in Purdue. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the road has not been as kind as playing in Indiana has. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of performance we get from him. But he can lock it up, I think, with a huge performance here.
Yeah, and also like Jeremiah Love, really, and he didn't come out of nowhere. He's been one of the best college backs all season long, but he has 8 carries, $170, and 3 scores. Like that puts you back into the race. But also a guy, Julian Sayin, is at that 19% point. Sometimes I still think it comes down to that Big Ten championship game, Joe, but it might not. Like if Mendoza handles his business with 3 touchdown passes and Sayin is a tough defense to go up against, maybe he just needs an average performance, probably in a loss to Ohio State, Joe, and still gets the Heisman.
Yeah, and that is also very possible here. It's expecting a big effort regardless.
Let's set up the weekend here for you in the NFL. A lot of games to get to, a lot of intrigue. We'll be right back on the early line after this break. close to $1 million in volume being traded right now on the Offensive Player of the Year. If you did put $100 down on Jonathan Taylor, that would pay back $143, so a 43% increase on your money that you had. There are a lot of long shots in here, but it doesn't feel like those would be good bets. Like, hey, I'm going to put it on Justin Herbert. Well, yeah, if Justin Herbert wins it, Joe, a $100 wager would pay back $10,000. They even have a market for if you want to bet Malik Neighbors.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
He's the fan favorite. They love talking about Stafford, the 38-year-old guy. He's the Super Bowl champ. We got the family. Any opportunity to pump McVay and Stafford as a team, they do that. They love this team. They loved Aaron Donald, and rightfully so. Best defensive player, but they love to pump up Stafford.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
What are those things called?
A shooting star.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that one. Like, it just burns up quick. And you love it while you can see it, and bing, it's gone in the blink of an eye.
Right.
That's my fear for Cam Scatterby.
Yeah, and that's not a big deal, but I will say it's weird, and it seems like he really enjoys that attention, which is all fine because he's a young guy.
Yeah.
But possibly dangerous in a city like New York.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
The future of the prediction markets, I think, at least for now, may be in the hands of the federal courts. But the good news for those who support prediction markets is that these court battles may last for another 2 to 3 years before we get clarity around the law. And nominee Seelig was handpicked by Donald Trump, not because he was neutral on prediction markets, but because he would do nothing to slow it down.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Action this week on the gridiron. We're going to start with Houston and Indianapolis, a big game in the AFC South, which is going to see the favorite here, Indianapolis, at home for the first time in a long time here. But they're going to take on Houston. The question is, what are we going to get out of C.J. Stroud, who's going to be coming back from a concussion? Davis Mills wasn't stupendous, but Davis Mills was a winning quarterback here. The total is 44.5, down from 46.5 as a look ahead. Are we getting Indianapolis? Did they bounce back after that tough loss to Kansas City and say, you know what? This is still our division. We're going to wrap this up. Or does Houston show up with that filthy defense that has been known to play really, really good football home or away? What gives in this game, Joe? That 4.5 seems about right here.
Yeah, and it was 3.5, and then a lot of early money on the Colts came in, and it's kind of no man's land here as far as the books are concerned, right? 4.5, maybe gets to 5, back down to 4. Either way, you're not going to be anywhere near a key number here of 3 or 7. So you've got to ask yourself, you've got who would have thunk it a month ago, right, that the AFC South would get to this point, Donnie, and the Colts would be chased down by maybe Jacksonville and Houston here. But that's the reality. The Texans, 3 straight wins, 2 of them, though, without C.J. Stroud. And I don't know. I think the Colts, having not played a game at home since October 26th, in which they smashed Tennessee, this is a different team at home on the turf in a dome. I like their chances here, especially with the new defense now has a couple of games. They got healthier. I think Buckner will be back for this game. There's not enough offense for the Texans to me to warrant thinking that they can not only win this game, but I don't think they can cover this game because I don't think Steichen and company will take their foot off the gas. I think they'll go for the kill here, and I'll lay it with the Colts.
Yeah, 8-3 Colts, 7-4 Jaguars, 6-5 Texans. So you can throw a little wrench into that AFC South. You get a victory here from the Texans, which would bump them to 7-5 and knock down the Colts to 8-4. Should be a fun finish, but you see the price points. So the Colts, they are the best team in this division at -220, followed by the Jaguars and the Texans here. Now let's get down to some fun in this one, Joe. And I don't know how many points are going to be scored. So before I tell you about the game, which you probably know where we're going, 40 degrees at kickoff. Precipitation, not really in the forecast. Sustained winds at 20 miles an hour or higher. We're talking about the San Francisco 49ers and the Cleveland Browns. Opening line, -7 for the San Francisco 49ers. That's down at some outlets to 4.5. 42.5 is a total, Joe. That's down in the mid-30s here, now showing up at 36.5 as we just had another line move just a few moments ago. I look at that 36.5, and I still think, Joe, right off the bat, that's an under.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I don't think Shador is going to have nearly as much success that people think he had in that game against the Raiders, which it was all Myles Garrett for Cleveland at that point. Yeah. But I do think I think Brock Purdy and company had a terrible game there. At least early, Brock Purdy did, but you can tell what those healthy weapons of Kittle and Ricky Pearsall and company have, and you got Christian McCaffrey, far too many offensive weapons. And much like we said last week, the Browns were up 14-0 in the first quarter, Donnie. We were like, that's over. The Raiders are never coming back. 49ers play from in front in this game. Cleveland's not coming back offensively. It's just not going to happen.
Feels like how many more touches can we squeeze in there for Christian McCaffrey? Feels like he's their entire offense. If we look at some of the passing props numbers, Joe, 156.5 for Shador, Brock Purdy at 213.5. Now, answer me this. Carolina's defense isn't even in comparison to what Cleveland's defense is. That pass rush devastating, good defensive backfield, that's not really the case for Carolina. We saw Brock Purdy in that first half. Okay, we'll let you throw it. Shanahan's like, you got to be kidding me. He threw 3 interceptions. We're throwing dink and dunks in the second half and handing the football off. What do you think that game plan in the heavy wins? Because Brock Purdy doesn't have the greatest arm here. Under 213.5? Like, does that seem doable here for Purdy? Like, he won't even throw for 200 yards in this?
Well, I think, you get the ball out of your hands quickly because we know who's on the other side waiting for him there. Yeah. And I think Shanahan will scheme it so they will be running away from, and they will be not giving Myles Garrett a chance to absolutely blow up the game plan. So I think it's going to be a lot of Ricky Pearsall, a lot of George Kittle, a lot of Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield. I think it's going to be short, quick screens, passes, those types of things, and move the ball that way and keep Myles Garrett out of Purdy's face.
Yeah, it's one. And also, how about this, Joe? Answer me this question. Christian McCaffrey, we see now on a week-to-week basis, minus 275s or higher. He's minus 125 this weekend for a touchdown, Joe. Somebody's got to score. Is that now some value for you in the marketplace?
Well, that's interesting, right? Because, listen, he not only from a running back, but from a catching perspective, the guy is, there's only more weapons now for San Francisco means that back end of the Browns defense could be in for a test here. I like him at that price, Donnie. I think anytime you can get him in that area, I think there's value there on him finding pay dirt.
Los Angeles Rams, Carolina Panthers. We saw Carolina play going up against the 49ers. Didn't look all that good on offense or defense. All San Francisco did was slow that game down. But now, you take a look at Carolina. The back end is damaged. Horn, who played on Monday Night Football, had 2 interceptions, throwing up on the sidelines because he had a concussion and tried to gut it out. He couldn't. This is a short week. I severely doubt that Horn's going to be available this weekend. We just talked about at the top of the hour here of, another safety, Trayvon Mooring. He's going to be down this weekend on suspension. Your slot cornerback got hurt last weekend and will not be playing in this game. 3 starters in the secondary down. Like, man, who do we play this weekend? Hopefully it's like Cleveland, right? Or maybe the Raiders. No, you're getting the Rams. And Puka Nacua, you're getting the Rams. And Devontae Adams, you're getting the Rams. And Matthew Stafford in this game with your secondary out. They will attack, Joe. But this line for a road game, 10.5 for the Raiders and 45.5 as a total here. What gives in this one? Because this is setting up to be Matthew Stafford, do whatever you want in this football game.
Yeah, I agree. And maybe the best way to look here is either look to fade the Carolina team total or back the Rams team total here, because one of these teams will score and score at will, and the other team will likely struggle to find pay dirt here, because I don't see the Rams defense. If Carolina had a hard time with the 49er defense, they're going to have a really hard time with this Rams defense in this game.
Yeah, championship odds here for the NFC. And again, it should be the Rams as the favorite there at a plus 210 price. They now hold home field advantage, even with the loss to the Eagles that lost last week to the Cowboys. Still a lot of football left to play and will be determined, followed by the Eagles, Seahawks, Lions, Packers, and 49ers. A lot up for grabs, but the Rams, to me right now, Joe, they seem like the class of the NFC the way they're playing.
Well, they are. I mean, let's face it. They are exactly what we thought they could be with a healthy Stafford. And boy, oh boy, all those young guys on that defensive side in the secondary, they're all starting to come together. We knew, Donnie, last year, you knew as an Eagles fan watching that playoff game, you knew that, boy, this team could be dangerous with all these young guys here. And, well, they've gotten better from a year ago with more experience, and it is starting to show for sure.
Look at the NFL MVP odds as well. Matthew Stafford is the odds-on favorite now at a minus 220 price. Drake May at plus 220. We talk about this all the time. We just talked about in the calcium market, Joe. When you say you want to line up and your coach, your team understands that I've never won an MVP, this is my chance. Are we handing the football off at the 2-yard line? I know as a coach you're not supposed to think that way, but we are human beings. I can throw a quick out to Devontae, get a quick touchdown pass, or hand this off. Matthew Stafford has been good for this organization, great for football. He's a Hall of Famer. He does not have an MVP. He's the favorite. You're not running in 3 touchdowns this weekend, Joe. You're running it up in the passing game, no?
I agree. That's exactly what you're likely doing. Up and over, Donnie. They will keep giving him opportunities because the matchups call for it as well, Donnie. The wide receiver matchups here call for it.
By the way, the best in the price point here, 1.5, you ain't getting that with Matthew Stafford. It's like minus 250 for touchdown passes. To throw for 3, the best number right now, I found at Bet365. That is a plus 180 price there, but still 3 touchdowns hard to get. But I just told you, 3 members of that secondary will be missing in this game against a hot Matthew Stafford and dominant wideouts. Seems too kind there for that Carolina secondary. More NFL talk on the way next as we prep you for Thanksgiving weekend.
Eight 3-minute rounds. The gloves are 10 ounces. And Anthony Joshua weighs like 250 pounds. So I'm not really sure how this is going to end up happening. But this is one of those. Normally, I don't give credit to the Paul brothers. And, I give them credit for being great on social media and creating a lot of buzz for the sport. I give him credit for getting in the round with Anthony Joshua. This is not like a Mike Tyson fight when Tyson's 60 years old.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Goff and Mahomes were never taken serious. Hurts won't be even if they're the 1 seed. Jonathan Taylor plays running back. Stop. Mahomes lost the head-to-head to Josh. Can I confidently eliminate every single person booked behind Josh Allen to at least beat out Josh Allen? So I'm in a head-to-head with Stafford May?
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Let's take a look at a couple of narratives here and play a good game of fade or not fade. And first up, well, the idea that the Chiefs are going to put it all together and win the AFC West, well, that's absolutely gone. Absolute fade from this point on, Donnie, with the Chiefs. Their 10-year reign is over. It's done with.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Football contest season is back, and so is the Las Vegas Football Contest Show. Season 2, the sharpest football contest show in the land. Focusing on all 3 Circus Sports contests and the Westgate Superbook Super Contest, we handicap the games and release our contest picks every week of the season. Featuring Super Contest champions Brady Cannon, James Salinas, and former NFL player Mike Pritchard, all team will have you prepared this season like none other. Check us out every weekend right here on SportsGrid.
Jacksonville, legitimate chance to make the playoffs here in the AFC. They're going to take on the lowly Tennessee Titans this weekend, who actually had a decent little comeback and showed some life going up against a double-digit favorite last week in the Seattle Seahawks. Now, granted, they lost that game. They had no chance to win it. They just put on a couple fluff points at the end, but they're getting a touchdown or so at home this weekend against Jacksonville in a total of 41.5. Could we have the Titans sneak inside that number? Because I'll tell you one thing, Titans ain't winning this game. Titans ain't winning again this year. Why should they?
Well, they better not. But this is another one of these games, Donnie, where is the offense coming from? We know that he's not going to have any problem throwing interceptions. We know that from Trevor Lawrence. He will at some point throw the ball to the Tennessee defense. Now, whether they catch it or not is a whole different ball game here. But listen, it's a big game. They keep getting by a good running game. And despite of Trevor Lawrence's issues here with turning the ball over, they've been able to get away with some. This is a division rivalry. These two always seem to have these crazy games. No way am I looking at an over here, Donnie, though. We've seen both these offenses look inept. I do like the Tennessee defense more than obviously we like their offense. So I'd be all about an under in a divisional game like this.
I always get a kick out of the red zone with Tennessee, Joe. Like, they show like usually big plays. Like, okay, let's cut to the Tennessee game and Tennessee's on offense. And it's like 50% a sack by Cam Ward, 30%, a good play by Cam Ward, and still leaves like 20, like just it's never good. It seems like at that point here for the Titans. We'll see if they're competitive. But again, being competitive and winning football games, two different things. We'll see if they can do that. Arizona on the road to take on Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay listed TBD at quarterback. Now, we'll get those first practice reports out today, but Baker Mayfield was in a sling last week. So if he does play, I don't think we're going to have an aerial attack by Tampa Bay, but they are supposed to get back Bucky Irving, which means they'd have 3 quality running backs in the backfield, maybe more of a running game. They're favored by 3 this weekend over Arizona in the total, Joe, at 44.5.
Yeah, I think this is a little home cooking, going to do Tampa well. I mean, it was a rough stretch, Donnie. I mean, 2 weeks ago, they had to fly to Orchard Park in crazy conditions there to take on Josh Allen and company. Then they had to come home. Then they had to fly out west to get destroyed by the Rams. But now that they're back home, Arizona coming to town. Obviously, Arizona is looking for ways to lose games. And I think they will lose this game. I don't think it quite matters who the quarterback is for Tampa in this one. I think they'll get back on track and get the easy win here against Arizona.
Buffalo and Pittsburgh, I'm feeling a Mike Tomlin underdog special in this one. They're getting 3.5 points from the Bills in a total of 47.5. Aaron Rodgers, who's probably furious. He couldn't play last week. And by the way, the Steelers lost that game, but it wasn't because the offense had 28 points on the board, which included a defensive touchdown. But now we're probably going to get Rodgers back, says he could probably compete a little bit better with that broken wrist. I don't know, but you know what? I think I might take a Tomlin special getting the 3.5 this weekend.
Yeah, and while we keep waiting for that Tomlin special getting points to actually deliver in any way, shape, or form here. But, I mean, listen, the story to me is whether Aaron Rodgers plays or not. It's just how bad that Bills team looked on Thursday night. And the question is, can they get back on track here? They've done a pretty good job over the years, obviously, with Josh Allen. Maybe a little extra time here is exactly what they need. Would it shock me if the Bills put up one of these big performances? No, but Tomlin at home getting points has been pretty profitable over the years. So if it ain't broke, I guess let's not fix it.
How about this game, Joe? Minnesota and Seattle. This is a very interesting one to me. That look-ahead line was 7.5. We're now up to 11.5 in the marketplace and a total of 41.5, which is down from 43.5. Like, we expected McCarthy to be the starter, but now it's running wild. But sometimes you have to piecemeal things together, Joe. And I know you take the same opinion like Cincinnati. Hey, Burrow's back. And you go, well, their offense looked decent without Joe Burrow. Like, yes, he's probably somewhat of an upgrade, but it's not as if it's night and day. McCarthy has been so poor this year that you're putting in Max Brosmer, which I look at that now and say, well, I don't want like a rookie guy getting his first start on the road at Seattle. That's terrible. But to be honest, Joe, you're not even getting a downgrade at quarterback in this spot and maybe an extra 4 points.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you don't think this is going to be a Sam Darnold revenge kind of game here? You don't think he's going to want to go out there and light this team up? The problem is, who knows Sam Darnold better than the Vikings in this spot? But the bottom line to me is, where are the points coming for the Vikings? And don't be fooled by that score against Tennessee, by the way. I mean, Seattle was up 20 points heading into the fourth quarter, and then they had that, empty netter to make it and get the cover and make it look like Tennessee was They were never competitive. That game was over before it started. The Vikings defense will keep this close early, Donnie, but ultimately I think the Seahawks pull away in the second half. So if I was looking at anything, I'd probably look at the first half under and then look for Seattle in game.
Take a look at Las Vegas and Los Angeles. That's the Chargers, a double-digit favorite here for the Chargers. You take a look at that total, 41.5. Vegas did fire their offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, which I always get interested in because the new offensive coordinator comes in, and their approach is never, let's slow the game down, let's run the football and see what we can do. This is my big chance to actually get a job in the NFL as an offensive coordinator. I'm going to show you what I can do. I actually like the total in this game, Joe, over the 41.5. The one thing we do know is the Raiders are horrendous on defense. Unless Max Crosby wrecks the entire game from a banged-up offensive line for the Chargers, they'll move this football. I like the over in this game. I think Geno slings it, new offensive coordinator. Ashton Genty, hey, can you get more than 5 yards rushing in a game? Maybe that'll help as well. I like the over in this game. What do you think in Chargers and Raiders?
I just don't see where the Raiders are going to get any money before this game here. The Chargers coming off the bye. We know Hampton is back here. I'm sure the Chargers are going to be the single most popular survivor bet for anybody that's still alive and well and hasn't used them. I think this is a pretty good get-right spot for the Chargers. I just think the Raiders are a hot mess, and I think Harbaugh will absolutely outcoach Pete Carroll and company and get the job done here.
Denver and Washington, Sunday Night Football. Looks like Marcus Mariota probably going to be the quarterback again here is what we're listing here as the starter. We'll find out later in the week. A total of 43.5 and a favorite of 6.5 for Denver on the road. Don't look now, Denver. You're one of the favorites. Now that pressure's on you.
Yep, and Denver right now 8-3 to the under this season. That's one of the best records in the NFL. I don't see how we're getting a ton of points in this one either.
We got the people ready for the NFL, no doubt about it. One final segment on this Turkey Week action. Come back.
The future of the prediction markets, I think, at least for now, may be in the hands of the federal courts. But the good news for those who support prediction markets is that these court battles may last for another 2 to 3 years before we get clarity around the law. And nominee Seelig was handpicked by Donald Trump, not because he was neutral on prediction markets, but because he would do nothing to slow it down.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
A huge number out there on Cason Wallace to win Defensive Player of the Year at 500-1. That is worth your attention. And a number that I talked about before the season that I still think should be lower is Mark Daigneault to win Coach of the Year at 11-1 in the NBA. If they win 70, he's a lock for top 3. If they win 73, it's his.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
What are those things called?
A shooting star.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with that one. Like it just burns up quick, and you love it while you can see it, and bing, it's gone in the blink of an eye.
Right.
That's my fear for Cam Scatterby.
Yeah, and that's not a big deal, but I will say it's weird, and it seems like he really enjoys that attention, which is all fine because he's a young guy, but possibly dangerous in a city like New York.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
Close to $1 million in volume being traded right now on the Offensive Player of the Year. If you did put $100 down on Jonathan Taylor, that would pay back $143, so a 43% increase on your money that you had. There are a lot of long shots in here, but it doesn't feel like those would be good bets. Like, hey, I'm going to put it on Justin Herbert. Well, yeah, if Justin Herbert wins it, Joe, a $100 wager would pay back $10,000. They even have a market for if you want to bet Malik Neighbors.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Oh, we are getting close, people. It's almost Thursday, then it's Friday. And by the way, what are you going to buy out there? TVs, laptops, clothes on Black Friday out here, Amazon hitting it up here. That's the way we get down. It's the way we like to spend our time and also watch some football. We are going to get to our Fade the Public poll in just a few moments here, but if you are talking about the New York Yankees quickly here, hey, look, you want to hear from your ownership group. You want to hear the owners saying to themselves, like, you know what? Who's LA? We're going to outspend them. Who's Boston? We're going to outspend them. Sometimes you sit down at the table and they go, kids, it's time to tighten our belts here around here. Things are getting expensive.
Wanted to ask you, Hal, you said you can't name a figure for your projected payroll, but a range. You were at 319, you said, last year. Can you give us a range? Is that the range? I've seen it suggested you want to go down this year. Is that true? And also, I've seen it suggested that your revenues were over 700. So I'm assuming you make a profit. Is that fair as well?
No, it's not fair, actually. So
you take a loss?
Don't want to get into it, but that's not a fair statement or an accurate statement. You need to, everybody wants to talk about revenues. They need to talk about our expenses, including the $100 million expense to the city of New York that we have to pay every February 1st, including the COVID year. So it all starts to add up in a hurry. Nobody spends more money, I don't believe, on player development, scouting, performance science. So these all start to add up, John. And if you want to go look at the revenues, you got to somehow try to figure out the expense side as well. You might be surprised. But that aside, I didn't say every year we do a range, but some years going into the winter meetings, we do talk about a range. But that range has rarely come true, as I found, for all the reasons I already talked about. He's going to bring me anything and everything. And, he and his people have to work harder because that's the way I want it, but that's the way I want it. So we will see what happens and what presents itself trade-wise and free agent-wise.
Okay. Even with a $300 million payroll, you said the final figure was 319. You were still outspent by the Dodgers and the Mets. Is your view of whether a salary cap should be proposed changed over time? And would you still favor a cap proposal if it was proposed?
Look, I don't feel like I'm in a position right now, research-wise, knowledge-wise, to answer that question. We'll always be among the highest payroll-wise. We always have been, always will be. Look, there are groups of fans out there in different areas, including my hometown here in Tampa, that come to, and I've addressed this before, come to spring training games thinking their team has little chance of making the playoffs, or at least little chance of making it deep into the playoffs. And those fans would argue that that's not good for baseball as a whole. And, it's a valid argument. Whether it's true or not, it's a valid argument. So, but I mean, yeah, that's about all I got for you on that.
Okay. Thank you.
At this point in time.
Here's my favorite thing he said there, Joe, at the first part of that conversation. They asked him that question like, well, you're making a lot of money. And he's like, well, you don't see the expenses. And they go, tell me about it. I'm not going to tell you about it. And the next breath he goes, well, you ought to see these expenses that we have here. Lay it out then. Give us a spreadsheet.
The $100 million to the city of New York is also very interesting, including the COVID year he threw out. Sounds a little salty there, Donnie. But yeah, listen, he's got a point. I mean, no matter how much money we make, if we got to pay most of it out in expenses. So welcome to New York, I guess.
Welcome to New York. Let's get to the Fade the Public poll here. Let's see what the people have. Come on, let's go, baby. What is your favorite Thanksgiving food? Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, and pumpkin pie? Leading right now, stuffing. Now, is that just because we don't eat stuffing at any other time throughout the year except for Thanksgiving, so you look forward to it? And how did the turkey not get voted number one? I voted turkey at 30% right now, but stuffing leading the way, Joe.
Yeah, I listen. I don't mind the stuffing here. It's an individual choice stuffing there, but I mean,
love mashed potatoes. I love pumpkin pie.
The point is the turkey, man. It's the deep fried turkey. It's the oven turkey. It's the turkey 9 million different ways. So yeah, I voted for turkey as well.
Yeah, there you go. How about this, Joe? We got to give the people what they want with some winners tonight. Buy, and buy. What do you got, Joe? Association tonight, baby. Let's do it.
Going down to my neck of the woods here in Miami with the Miami Heat and an NBA Cup game, Donnie. Expect a ton of points against a hobbled Milwaukee team. They may have Giannis back, but it's not going to matter. Expect a lot of points with these two teams here tonight.
Timberwolves and the Thunder. Nobody wants the Timberwolves. 8 out of every 10 tickets are on the Thunder. That line opened up at 10. It's down to 8.5. I'll take the Thunder. Excuse me, the Timberwolves. Timberwolves. Plus 8.5. That'll do it. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. We'll see you Monday, people. Monday.